back, man. It's a million ways to get it. Today we're talking credit, man. We got my guy coming through, Ramsey Coulter of Coulter Credit Repair, man. He's got a wealth of knowledge on the credit game. He's going to sit us down, and we're going to learn together, man. We're going to learn some of that game today. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to Never Fold Game Clothing Line. Let's get it.
So I played football at Westchester University. I got injured, had to have surgery on my shoulder, and after the surgery and everything, some medical bills showed up in collections on my credit report when they should not have. So at first, I thought, I'll just take it to the school's insurance, they'll take care of it, no big deal. It ended up taking over a year, or about a year, for me to get it resolved. I had to do all the legwork, I had to call everybody. It took up a lot of my time, so it kind of ticked me off. So I started researching, how's this even legal? Like, I don't owe this money. What's going on? So I started researching on YouTube and Google and stuff like that. So I found some credit repair laws, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and just started studying up on them, watching credit gurus and people out there talk about credit and credit repair, and even lawyers talk about it. And that's ultimately what got me into credit repair.
Okay. All right, so about how long have you been doing credit repair?
Yep. Yeah, so a little bit over 6 years now.
6 years. Okay. Okay. Well, I know this is going to be a crazy episode just because a lot of people are perplexed by credit. It's like it's got their mind in a jumble. Like, you know what I mean? Because I know for me, I still find myself learning different things about credit. And how could you kind of give someone kind of a step-by-step, couple quick steps and a step-by-step guide to starting off a good credit history, scenarios, what to use, what not to use, things like that?
Yeah. So, I teach a lot of first-time homebuyer classes and stuff, and so, I tell people, look, if you're going to play the game of credit, because that's all it is a game, you got to know the rules, right? So if you don't know what the heck, if you're out on a basketball court and you're trying to play baseball, you're going to look like an idiot, right?
Thanks.
So you got to know the rules. There's 5 main factors for credit, which is, this is the main thing that everybody says, because I do a lot of advertisement and stuff on Facebook, and so people will say, oh, you don't need credit repair, you don't need to pay someone, just pay your bills and you'll be all right. And that is very important. It's 35% important. It's 35% of your credit score.
Wow.
How do you pay your bills? And people say that people just don't know what bills. Oh, well, I pay electric every month. I pay my car insurance. I pay my cell phone bill. I pay cable. I pay rent on time, water bills, whatever. I pay all that stuff. None of that builds your credit for the most part. There are a couple different rent reporters out there, and now Experian has Boost, which will report some of your utility bills. But for the most part, none of those actively build your credit. And so people will come with no credit or just no credit score at all. Maybe a couple collections or something. And we always do a free consultation. We want to truly help people reach their goals, And so we'll help people build credit for free. We'll take a look and say, oh, you don't need our help, but we'll give you some guidance and some free tips. And in return, go write us a Facebook review or write us a Google review.
This for them niggas that's chasing the check. This for the homies that drop from the jacks to a jet. The niggas that know how to flex. This for the bread.
We'll give people, secured credit cards. So secured credit card, if you have no credit at all, people will be like, well, I applied for 3 different credit cards. I got declined. I got denied for all of them. Right, because you have no history. Nobody's going to trust you, right? So you have to do a secured credit card to start, which is a security deposit. So you give, not all banks do it, most banks do it, but not all. You give the bank a couple $100, some are 200, some are 3, 4, 5, it depends on the bank, and you give them a security deposit. They give you a Visa credit card, a MasterCard credit card, and now you have something that reports to the 3 major credit bureaus, and you can start your credit building at that step. That's the easiest way. It's not a guaranteed approval. I've had people who get denied, which is crazy because it's your own money.
Right, now you deny a person putting their own money down. That's kind of crazy.
There's no risk involved, and that's what credit is. Credit score is a risk. It's a risk predictor. The actual FICO definition is, the likelihood that you'll default on one of your loans or credit obligations in the next 48 months. So, or 24 months, I'm sorry, in the next 2 years, are you going to screw everything up?
Right.
And that's
right.
what FICO is, which is the main score that banks use for credit.
Okay, for me personally, the difference in your scores. All right, so I know there's a FICO score. There's
hundreds of scores. People don't know.
Oh crap! I didn't know that either. You just hit me on.
There's hundreds of different types of credit scores.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I'm, what kind of credit score should I be focused on then? If it's 100 different types of credit scores, what should I be focused on?
So yeah, there's a lot of free scores out there. Some of them are FICO scores. Most of them are Vantage scores, which are like Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, Credit Wise. Look, if your scores are going up on one of the models, more than likely they're all going up. Okay,
Right.
It's not 100% true.
Right.
There are different factors, and some scores won't penalize you for a paid collection, but most do. So those scores might go up because you paid a collection, when the other ones might go down. So you gotta be careful. But what I tell people is, look, what are you trying to do? What's your goal? If you want to buy a house, great. Then let's go pay for your legitimate FICO mortgage industry scores. Yes, it might be expensive. It might be $40 a month because FICO, they got money. They make billions of dollars a year. They know that people will pay $43 a month if they're trying to get a mortgage. But if you're just trying to get a car, you don't need to go pay for your FICO auto scores. I mean, somebody like me might do that, because, just because. But
you're into it. That's your
most
lifestyle.
people are not going to do that. You can look at Credit Karma scores and have an okay idea of, look, if it's in the 4 or 5s, you're not going to get approved, and if you are, it's going to be 20+% interest rate.
Yeah, the interest rate is crazy. I can speak to interest rates and car payments because I remember, I think I was like 20 years old. I got a brand new Kia Optima. I was all hype, knucklehead kid. I thought it was like the thing to do. Yep. And then I looked at my loan. I've been paying on this car for 2 years. I looked at the principal loan, and I was still nowhere near the principal loan of the vehicle. Right. And that's the first time I learned about a principal loan. Right. And I was like, well, the principal was the money that I actually owe. I'm literally just paying interest. So I'm at 2 years of this payment, and I'm only paying interest. It made my stomach hurt. You know what I mean? So
I'm just gonna make sure that these niggas pay me. I'ma hit Hollywood Hills in the mid, just smoking the blunt of blue cheese to the face. See, this is that flow that they wanted me on. That get you a million sound. That flow that silly and really. I've been on the beat since a nigga came in at the down. This is for everything. I want it all. I did this shit for my
credit cards, right? Yeah. Credit cards are a major crutch for a lot of the community I come from, and most people come from. It's a crutch that we don't really quite know what to do with. So what could you speak to about credit cards and how to use credit cards to help with those hundreds of scores that we got sitting there?
Yeah, sure. So the second most important thing on your credit is credit utilization. And so, a lot of people will call it total debt, and that is partially true, but it's a very small portion. So the most important part of that 30% is, do you have a credit card, and how do you use it? How do you utilize that credit card? And so if I talk to a lot of people who are adamant that they don't want a credit card, they won't get a credit card, but they want to have a 750 credit score or 800 credit score. That's not really possible. I mean, it is. I've seen 1 or 2 people, but they had credit cards, they just closed them, and then that's why they have 700 plus scores, and they have no negatives or anything. But for the most part, you need a credit card. Okay, so I don't care if you're a Dave Ramsey follower. I don't care if you use that credit card much at all. But having a credit card is very important if you want to have a good credit score. Okay, so get a credit card, a secured credit card maybe. You give the bank a couple $100, they give you a credit card. It's not a prepaid card like at the gas station. All right, so you do have to make monthly payments.
Right.
But barely use it. Like I tell people, go, if you have a vehicle, even if it's a Kia Optima that you haven't touched the principal on in 2 years, use it for gas. Use it for gas once a month, and pay it off. Like there's so much misinformation out there about credit cards and how to use them and how not to use them. And I've told plenty of people, great, get a credit card and never use it. I don't care, because now you have a positive open credit card, and you still get positive payment history every month, even if you don't use the thing. And so just by having one open, even if you open it up, cut it up, and throw it away. Now, I'm not advising that because eventually they will shut it down because they're like,
there's no use. You're not
even using it. We're not making no money off you. You're not using it. And so eventually the credit card company will shut it down if it's inactive for too long. Some are a year, some are 2 years. It just depends on the bank. But use it once a month. Use it for gas one time. Barely use it. Use less than 25%. People say, oh, well, you got to use less than 30%. You got to max it out. You got to pay it off. Don't max it out. Don't pay it off. There's so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff people tell you.
Right.
It's like I remember being told, keep a balance on there.
Right.
And just pay on your balance every month, and that'll give you positive payments.
It does.
But I feel like it gives me positive payments, but I feel like there's still kind of like there's still a balance in there, so I still owe them money.
Yeah, and then people say, oh, well, I was told if you pay it off every month, it hurts your score. And look, if you want to get super technical, cool, call me. We'll get super technical. We'll talk about it. Yes, technically, if you have a balance between 1% and 6%, you get the most points. But that's a super small. That's like a $5 balance. That's nothing. Okay, that's not a balance.
Yeah.
That's a Kit Kat bar.
Right. Because yeah, man.
Yeah, but the point is, have a credit card, barely use it, pay it off every month. It can be that simple. It can be.
It can be.
It can be.
It can be.
It can also be super dangerous. You can also run up $5,000 in credit card debt before you know it. And I understand where Dave Ramsey's coming from when he's like, look, the temptation's there. People are going to overutilize. You're not using cash to pay your bills and stuff. And I've been there. I get it. It is dangerous.
Yeah.
But you got to be responsible. And so if you're not being responsible, great. Then close that credit card and don't use it. Come back at a later time and start building your credit. But if you're making the commitment to being responsible, you want to buy a house, or you don't want to be paying 20% interest rate on a car loan. Get a credit card, barely use it, build your credit history, and then refinance that car loan quickly.
Okay, so that's one thing I did want to talk about, because they always tell you that when you go to a car lot and they hit you with the
6 months.
Come back in 6 months, you can refinance, you'll be at a better place, and you'll have all these on-time payments and blah blah blah.
Right.
So is that an actual thing? Is that real? Can I really buy a car at a terrible rate and pay on it on time for 6 months, go back, redo it, and get a lower payment?
So yes, it is possible. It's definitely true, as long as you're making on-time payments on that car loan. Mm-hmm. If you're over 30 days late now and you're going back to them, your scores are going to be low, or maybe even lower. But I hate seeing commercials or even signs like, we help build credit. Get a car loan to build your credit. Like, people will call me all the time and say, well, I got a car loan just because I had no credit. Well, that's a terrible idea. Get a car loan so you can get your butt to work. That's a good idea.
Right.
You can make a living, but don't do it because you want to build credit. Get a 200, 300 secured credit card and build it that way. And then 6 months later, or even less, then go get a car. And at least then you're at, 10% or less. I mean, and I'm assuming there's nothing on your credit.
Right.
No negatives or anything.
Right.
But yeah, you can refinance. You wouldn't necessarily, and then I have a lot of car dealer friends who might be mad at me, but you don't necessarily need to go back to the car dealership. You can go to your bank. You can go to a credit union, and they can refinance. A true refi is just you're getting another loan to pay off that loan, and it's at a better interest rate. And don't extend the time. If you already have a 60-month loan, don't go to your credit union or bank a year later and get another 60-month loan or a 72-month loan just so that it lowers your payment, because now you're paying more in interest over time. Even if it's a 10% difference in interest rate, that's amazing. But you want to be you don't want to be making car payments the rest of your life. You don't want to be in debt with a car.
This is for everything, I want it all. I did this shit for my name in the hall. How could I blow in and listen to y'all? I probably not be in this bitch at all. No, I want my spot right at the top. Niggas forgot how really get whenever we drop, and we be the reason that them niggas flop. I'm in my
it's so much debt to occur, you know what I mean? Because this whole system is made to kind of put you in that jumble of
trap people, enslave people in debt. Yeah,
because
I agree. I see it every day.
All right, the model is go to college. You go to college, you come out of college, you get yourself a job, and you can get yourself a house, yourself a car, you get all this stuff. And to me, after all my research and my process and getting the whole assets versus liabilities speeches and those type of things, and realizing that I've been just buying liabilities my whole life. I've just been running around here getting liabilities.
Yeah.
So, as a person that does credit and repairs credit, how can you speak to like liabilities and assets and how to build more assets
Right.
with and kind of keep those liabilities away
Right.
with because you see credit every day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so first of all, and again, people say all the time, well, you help people get into debt. No, that's not my goal. But I can't stop you if I fix your credit and you go buy a Mercedes. I mean, I can't do anything about that.
Right.
$600-700 a month payment. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't want you to do that, and I would have advised you against that. But stop getting liabilities. Stop. Going to furniture stores and getting $5,000 worth of couches and TVs and stuff like that. Don't do it. Okay. Yeah. Get a regular chair and sit on that for a long time. It's all right. Just don't have too many people over. It's all right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
People at home that don't care, but don't get car loans if you can. I mean, of course, there's situations you get in a car accident, you need to get to work. Yeah, you're gonna need a car loan, maybe.
Yeah.
Unless you got money in the bank to just buy a car. Drive a whoopty.
Yeah.
Don't drive a new car. I mean, my car's a 2010, which seems new, but we're in 2020 now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that happened fast too, didn't it?
Right. Yeah. But it's been paid off for years. Don't get new loans. All right, yeah, fine. You're going to college. You're going. Yeah, there's unless you got a trust fund. Yeah, you're gonna have to take out some student loans. Don't just go to college just to go to college. Go with a plan. And yeah, I know. I remember when I was 18, I had no idea what I was. I knew. I probably wanted to go for business. I knew that. Sometimes I knew it, sometimes I didn't.
Right.
Especially
18,
when I'm taking
man.
classes, I'm like, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll be a gym teacher. Maybe I'll be, whatever. So I switched quite a few times, but, don't just go to college to go to college. Go to community college. If I wasn't going to play sports, I would have went to community college for at least 2 years, get all your gen eds out of the way, and then go to a college. Because guess what? It doesn't matter on an application or whatever. They don't say, oh, did you go to Villanova for 4 years? No. Where's your degree from, right?
Yeah.
You can go there for 1 year and graduate with that degree and be all right. Now, some schools might require a little bit longer. But anyway. Or just get your master's from there instead, or whatever, if that's a good thing, and not just a master's in, I won't say any careers, but
Yeah. There's a lot of degrees that are just
don't make sense.
Why are you doing this? What's the point?
I got my master's in English. Okay, well, are you teaching people English? No. All right. No.
So what are we doing really?
You're
what
a
are we?
journalist? Are you writing? Are you making a lot of money doing it?
All right, so we could do that all day.
Right.
But there's a lot of people out here that are kind of lost, and this is kind of where this came from. Is just I was lost. I was sitting on the couch. I didn't know what to do. What kind of advice would you give to someone that is trying to start being a credit repair person or wanted to build their way up? Because I see you went from I know when I first spoke to you about building credit, you were still working out of your house, and now we're sitting in your office. So. Can you give somebody some game on that, of like how to kind of start and kind of persevere through all the ups and downs? Because it's gonna be ups and downs for everything.
Always is, yeah. I mean, no matter what business you're trying to start, I mean, you want to do your research, you want to know about it. You don't want to just do it just because you think there's a lot of money in it. It's got to be something you like, something you like, and for credit in particular, I mean. There's not a lot of overhead. That's why I was able to work from home for years. I still could, but I got 3 kids, so no, I can't. People say, well, why do you have an office if nobody ever comes to your office? Because I need to get work done.
Yeah, man. Working from home is a little tough.
You don't have your kids for being kids.
Right.
But like, there's not much overhead in credit repair. You do have to get bonded. Okay, we got to register with the state, which means you can start. A fictitious company, a fictitious name, and be a sole proprietorship. You can start as a sole proprietorship. Once you start taking on a lot of clients, you want to do an LLC,
okay,
or a corporation, and that's it's like $60 to register with the state. It's not much for a sole proprietorship. You need so once you're registered with the state as a business, you do need a bond in Pennsylvania to legally do credit repair, which most credit repair companies in Pennsylvania don't have a bond on file. You can look it up on the Department of State, the Bureau of Corporations, and I do that.
Oh, you should.
And I look up all my local competition, and guess what? None of them are bonded. None of them. None of them.
Y'all hear that?
Not even creditrepair.com even bonded in PA. I just looked them up today. I was like, what? But anyway, we're bonded, by the way. It's a couple $100.
Yeah.
You know, it's a couple $100. You spend $70 sending it into the state. They stamp it, and now you're legal. It's that easy. You don't need a license for in Pennsylvania for credit repair. You don't need. There's not a whole lot you need. You just need to know what you're doing. You need to give good advice. You need education. You need to go to seminars. You need to pay. I've spent a lot of money going and traveling to events in Florida. All over the place. Chicago, Texas, Ohio. I've gone to credit repair events to learn how to do this properly. So maybe I overdid it. Maybe I went to too many. But you need to know what you're doing, and you need a computer, and you need a printer because you're gonna have to print and send letters to the credit bureaus and fight and stuff. But there doesn't necessarily have to be a whole lot of overhead to start a credit repair company. Other companies, there might be a lot of overhead. There's not necessarily in credit repair. So
that's dope, man. Just getting cause what I've been really trying to focus on is giving people that all right, you just told me it's $60
well,
to start. Just to start,
yeah,
say $60 just to start.
Right, to file it.
We blow that in the weekend. You know what I'm saying? You blow that in the weekend. You go out to eat. literally, you go out to eat with your girlfriend tonight. That's your credit repair company on the table at wherever restaurant you just went to. So for me, it's kind of trying to break this thing down into smaller increments, packed with information.
Yeah, I mean, less than $500, you could be up and running, and starting it out, and you got to learn from there. But there's a lot to it. It's not all just. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, credit repair. All you got to do is dispute stuff." Or there's a lot of dispute companies. That's all they do. They don't educate people. They don't help people build credit. They don't tell people not to get into debt, or at least advise them to. You can't control what they do, but. Disputing is just one portion of credit repair and credit building and credit education. So a lot of the big companies, I won't name them, but you hear the commercials all the time, and I get hundreds of clients from them all the time, and they say to us, on your initial consultation for 10, 20, 30 minutes, you told me way more than a whole year's worth of information from those companies, because they don't tell you how they want to keep you forever. They want to keep you paying them $89, $99 a month.
They'll keep you dependent.
Right.
It's like for me, it's like a doctor in medicine. It's no cure.
Right.
There's no money in the cure. The money is in the medicine. So
that's true.
Why would I like for most people even this they look at me crazy you're out there giving us information for free, and it's well, I'm gonna be honest. About 75% of the people that listen to your information aren't going to do anything with it. You know what I mean? 75% of people are going to listen to me. They're going to hear this. They're going to say, "Oh man, for a couple $100 I can do this," and they're going to be excited about it for a couple of days, and then they're going to go to work and they're going to go back to regular life and nothing ever happened. You know what I mean? Until they find that niche or find that thing that's really for them, they're not going to push it. And for me, once I found the things that were for me and I felt were in my body, I went hard. But I had 100 jobs before I got to that point. You know what I mean? I worked every type of thing you could possibly do till I got to that kind of that level of comfortability with who I was and what I wanted to do. Can you kind of speak to how you got to your comfortability level of being a credit person and being comfortable talking about credit? Because that's a tough thing to just kind of bring up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot of people, the number one fear usually is public speaking and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has different personalities and stuff. Some people are introvert, extrovert. I'm more of an extrovert. I don't mind talking. I don't mind getting up in front of people and talking. Yeah, you get nervous. Yeah, and
definitely.
First time you get in front of 40, 50 people, it's like, oh, all right,
Yikes.
I sweat a lot.
Nigga, stop change. Nigga, stop being so fictional. I ain't dropping no feast. I ain't dancing to the Kikis. I went so hard on them EPs. The whole
motivation. You need that motivation. Some people are more motivated than others. I play college sports. So, I've been through the grind and stuff, and a lot of motivational speakers. Earlier we were talking about Les Brown and Eric Thomas and there's Zig Ziglar, whatever. There's tons of motivational people out there. Some people might think Oprah's motivational, cool. Listen
Yeah.
to Oprah.
Yeah,
Get hype. Like, let her get you pumped up. Music helps. You know, certain music can help you. You know, if you don't always have to be on the phone, you can listen to music while you're doing certain tasks or whatever. Writing dispute letters, you can listen to music to an extent, and sometimes you need to be more calm. Sometimes you need to be more hype. It just depends on the situation. But you know, I listen to lots and lots of motivational speakers. You can do this. You know, we all have greatness within us. You know, and just because your self-talk is super important. You know, what you tell yourself every single day, it will happen.
Self-talk, man.
Happen.
Yeah, self-talk is huge because you can talk yourself right out of things that are really good for you, things that could push you to the next level or push you to that spot that you want to get to. Right. You can talk yourself right out of it and not even realize it. It's just a small voice in your head when you do your little things throughout the day. Yeah. And yeah, man, it could definitely you know derail you. Yeah. Well, first, I just want to thank you for being on. I want to thank you for allowing me to come into your establishment, set up, and you know and give the people some game that they can use and they can implement. Because hopefully, folks out there are going to implement some of these practices that we have given you today, so that you can move forward and crush it and kill 2020 and going forward. Before we roll, I always like to tell everybody, give them your @names, where you're at, give them phone number, address, whatever you want to do, so you can go.
Yeah. Sure. Well, so like I said earlier, it's always a 100% free consultation. You can call us 610-350-4683. You can go on Facebook. I think on Facebook and Instagram, it's @coulter credit, COULTER credit. Like our page, share our page. Write us a review. Invite your friends to like our page. But yeah, I mean, it's always a free consultation, and there's no obligation. We're not hard sellers. Look, if people want to sign up, great. If not, oh well. There's some people we talk to every year. And they never sign up. The hope is that they refer friends and family and clients to us. And
thanks for letting us come through, man. Appreciate you, man. It's a million ways to get it. We'll see you next time.
Everything. This one for everything. Yeah. This for that money, power, respect. This for them niggas that's chasing the check. This for them niggas that